Lunar New Year is like a Chinese version of Thanksgiving or Christmas. Every year, hundreds of millions of Chinese head home to celebrate the festive holiday with their families. For many, it's the only time of the year they can get enough time off work to make the trip home. But this year, the enormous human migration is being seriously impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Chinese government is nervous about a potential resurgence of the virus, so it has imposed additional travel restrictions on top of existing ones to limit non-essential trips during the holiday period. So, like many others, I have to celebrate Lunar New Year away from my family. They live in Beijing and I work in Hong Kong. Before the pandemic, all I needed to do to get home was take a 3-hour flight. Now, I'd have to go into quarantine on both ends of the trip. It's been more than a year since I last visited my family, and I miss them very much. I had actually made up my mind to go through all the quarantine requirements in January, after I learned my mother needed to undergo 2 eye operations. But my plan couldn't keep up with the rule changes. When I was booking my flights, the requirement was to spend 14 days in hotel quarantine when I got to Beijing, and 14 days in hotel quarantine when I got back to Hong Kong. But around that same time, a new COVID-19 outbreak hit northern China. More than 2,000 positive cases were detected in January. It was the worst resurgence of the virus in months. After I booked my flights, Beijing imposed a new travel restriction, adding an additional 7 days of home quarantine after leaving the hotel for anyone coming in from overseas. Determined to go home, I talked to my bosses and rescheduled the trip to accommodate the new rule. It seemed to be all worked out, but then the government extended the home quarantine by another 7 days. This would have meant I would not be able to leave my family home for 14 days, and my parents wouldn't be able to leave either. I was left with no choice but to cancel my trip. As frustrating as this is, I know I'm not alone in this situation. I'm one of hundreds of millions of people in China and around the world forced to be separated from their families. But being apart isn't stopping us from celebrating our culture and finding alternative ways to spend time with loved ones. This year, I'm celebrating Lunar New Year here in Hong Kong with my girlfriend. We bought a niangap. It's a classic New Year decoration in southern China that symbolizes good luck. And these are faichun. In northern China, they're called chunlian. It's a traditional decoration that carries auspicious messages. And I will get to spend time with my family, albeit via video chat. 今年还真是挺特别的，之前年年都回来，今年就没回。
我也没回城呀。
回我姥爷家也没回城是吧？
不让走啊。
真的没办法，这只能这样了。
你们怎么样？
就其实感觉还挺，就本来都已经安排好了嘛，还是想回来看看，结果这整了半天也没整成，还是有点失望的。
让奶奶说两句。我不就跟奶奶说两句。没事儿，我说你这想办法得回家一趟呗。
是啊。
这个假还不好请，假期一弄什么的，这不是一年呗。
对。
该回去，是吧？
没事儿，我休息一会儿。Although I tried my best to be optimistic, I still couldn't help but get emotional. As we all try our best to get through this tough time, I hope the days of worrying about the pandemic will soon be behind us.